What's up, YouTube? It is Wednesday, my dudes, and not just any Wednesday, Nintendo Direct Wednesday. As you all probably know, yesterday Nintendo finally announced a new Nintendo Direct for today at 5 o'clock Eastern Time and 2 o'clock Pacific Time. So be sure to tune into that. But first, here's my predictions for today's Nintendo Direct. Let's get right into it. Okay, for Super Mario, I think they'll probably do little to nothing, considering Mario's 35th anniversary was last year. If they do something, a Mario sports title, most likely golf, but hopefully strikers or sluggers, considering how long it's been since Tennis Aces. And as you can see, there's a percentage bar next to them. That is how likely it is, and I think there's a 65% chance we get a Mario sports title, probably golf. In the Super Mario Odyssey 2 reveal trailer, I'd give a 10% chance, because I just don't feel like Mario is at the forefront of Nintendo right now, considering Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury just dropped, and his 35th anniversary was last year, so they probably want to focus on other franchises we'll get to soon. And the final Mario thing that could possibly happen is Mario plus Rabbids 2, because it's been rumored and it would make sense for April or May, like as an Easter title, and I give it a 20% chance, because we don't know if it was actually rumored or just a mistake on the Rabbids Twitter account. Our next franchise is The Legend of Zelda, which is definitely going to have something this year, since it's the 35th and Nintendo needs Zelda, and typically celebrates anniversaries for it. I did it with Hyrule Warriors. I don't know if that was an anniversary, but they did for Skyward Sword for the 25th anniversary. The most likely options are Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC pack, with Astor and Suga as playable characters, which I'd give a 70% chance, because that game sold pretty well. A Skyward Sword HD sold separately with improvements to the controls and gameplay. Because while we want a Triforce pack, Nintendo probably wouldn't sell Skyward Sword in a group, considering how recent it is. So I'd give it 75% chance they sell it by itself. And of course, what everyone's been rumoring, a collection of some sorts or multiple collections. I'd bet Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask get one pack, and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess get a second pack, and I'm 100% sure at least we'll get some sort of pack from Nintendo. Finally, there is the option of Breath of the Wild 2 news, which I'd give 70% because, while it's possible, Breath of the Wild 2, I feel like if they want it to be as good as the first one, they should take their sweet time with it, so. Okay, our next franchise is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC. We all knew this, they announced it. We all know this is coming. So we will definitely get a fighter pack for Fighters Pass 2 revealed. And Sakurai will probably hold a presentation this weekend or next week. And the fighter will probably release early March or the very end of February. The most probable fighters are Crash Bandicoot, since It's About Time is releasing on Switch on March 12th. I'll give him a 90% chance. A Generation 8 Pokemon, unfortunately, because I know no one really wants another Pokemon, since there is a Pokemon from every generation, and this month is the Pokemon anniversary. It'd probably be Grookey or Rillaboom, since we already have a fire and a water starter from the most recent games, with a 95% chance. This is the most out there guess, but Master Chief, since Halo is Xbox's main franchise, so why not? They'd probably save the Chief for the final fighter though, so I'd give it 30% chance. And then finally, Monster Hunter Protagonist, since Monster Hunter Rise looks to be a big Switch exclusive in March. I'd give it a 95%. And that was where we have fun. The Mii fighters will not be revealed yet. I'm pretty sure when Sakurai presents he will. But my predictions are Impa, since Age of Calamity came out, everyone wants Impa. Claptrap from Borderlands, because as you'll see later on this list, another Borderlands game has been rumored, and they reported the first trilogy to the Switch. So, it seems like Borderlands on the Switch is a thing. So maybe a Claptrap Mii fighter. Doom guy, since Doom and Doom Eternal were both ported, along with Doom 64 in the original games, it would make a lot of sense. And they probably don't want him as a fighter, considering how gory he is. And finally, a Bravely Default character, considering Bravely Default 2 comes out at the end of this month. Okay, next franchise, Pokemon. With Pokemon Day coming on February 27th, they'll probably hold many announcements for them, and here's what I think we'll get in this one. A new Pokemon Snap information before the Pokemon Direct. I'm 90% sure they'll do it because the game is releasing soon and Nintendo wants to capitalize on it. Diamond and Pearl remakes announced. I really don't think they're gonna happen, or they won't get announced this early in the year. But if they do, it'll probably be in the Pokemon Presents, so I'll give it a 15% chance. Let's Go Johto announced for the summer to hold off until the Diamond and Pearl remakes, 5%. Yeah, I'm mostly just guessing on that one, but they released Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee in the summer to hold off till Gen 8, so it's possible. Pokemon Unite used, which, let's be honest, they'll probably save for the Pokemon Direct, so it's a 5% chance we get Pokemon Unite stuff. And a Detective Pikachu follow-up or port, which they'll also probably save for the Pokemon Direct, so I'll give it 5%. And personally, I'm not really a big fan of Pokemon, so maybe I'm just completely wrong with this. Take it as you will. And next, we have Splatoon, one of my favorite franchises. Personally, I don't expect much from Splatoon this year, but it is possible that we can get Splatoon 3 announced and possibly releasing in June or July. Hopefully they'll go big with the sequel and have an actual story and plot, like Octo expansion had. I'd give it a 10% chance because I feel like they'd want to wait a little bit more until Splatoon 3. But considering how much it sold and the fact that the first game and second game released 2 years apart, it's possible. A Splatoon Battle Royale and or spin-off like Metroid Prime Federation Force. I'm totally not making this up. I've heard this online multiple times. Some sort of Splatoon spin-off like a Battle Royale. I'd be fine with it. I just hope it's free with Switch Online. So I'd give it 10% because I don't think anyone's going to pay for a Splatoon Battle Royale. Or not a lot of people. And then finally, a Splatoon 2 Splatfest for the Zelda 35th anniversary. The two sides will probably be Master Sword versus the Hookshot, or Ocarina of Time versus Majora's Mask, or Wind Waker versus Twilight Princess. So I'll give it a 100% chance that's going to happen. Next we have Kirby, another one of my favorite franchises I hope comes back this year, because I'm almost 100% sure we will get something. The first guess is the least likely. Well, it's not the least likely, but it's kind of fictional. But considering what HAL Labs has been saying, it's possible. A huge 3D Kirby game with Kirby traveling the galaxy with Mario Odyssey type mechanics, sucking up enemies taking their powers, featuring Marx and King Dedede as the main villains, will be announced. I'd give it a 65% chance, considering I don't know if HAL Labs wants to go 3D. And if they do, I don't know if they'd want to do it for a holiday game, but I think it makes sense in the summer, so probably would get revealed here. Another 2D game, which is unfortunately because we want a 3D game, but hopefully it'll be better than Star Allies, so I'll give it an 85% chance. And then finally, new characters or DLC pass announced for Kirby Fighters 2, and a physical release as well, similar to how Cadence of Hyrule got one of those. I'll give it a 50% chance. Next we have Metroid, which is probably the biggest mystery of the entire Direct, since it is their 35th anniversary. But Nintendo seems to have forgotten about this franchise. Come on, guys. It's awesome. A 2D Metroid announcement and probable release in May or June 2021. I'd give it a 95% chance, because we haven't had a 2D Metroid since Samus Returns remake on the 3DS, and that was 2017. And I feel like that company is probably still working on another Metroid game, so it makes sense for here. The fabled Metroid Prime trilogy is finally announced and released in July or August. I want to believe it, but I can't, so I'll give it a 70%. Nintendo just keeps disappointing us instead of releasing this game. And then finally, literally any news on Metroid Prime 4's development. I give it a 5% chance because they just restarted it and I don't think they have anything to show off. Donkey Kong, one of the franchises I really hope is here today. It's Nintendo's oldest franchise's 40th anniversary, so I'm almost 100% sure they'll announce something. If not in this Direct, then probably at their E3 quote-unquote Direct this summer, at June. So the first and probably the most likely is Donkey Kong Country 6 will hopefully be announced with King K. Rool returning as the villain. It'll probably release later this year, since it seems Retro Studios was forced to work on Metroid Prime 4 while developing something else, presumably this. I'd give it a 55% chance, at least for this Direct, because I feel like they'd save it for E3. Okay, some ports. The most likely is probably Donkey Kong Country Returns, in a port similar to Xenoblade Chronicles, since they're both Wii games. I'll give it a 45% chance. I wouldn't really want to see it because it's on the 3DS and Wii, and I've played it before, but that's just personal. Maybe Nintendo wants to capitalize on it because it was a really good game. Then I have two wild cards, I just want to guess. Maybe they bring back the Donkey Kong GameCube bongos and Jungle Beat. 0% chance, because let's be honest, no one really likes them. I mean, they're cool, but yeah, no. And then finally, a 3D Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong 64 port. Yeah, 0%, because Nintendo and Rare aren't gonna get together for that. But we can still hope. Okay, Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm 100% sure an update for this game gets announced, since one of the best-selling Switch games and everyone's hyped for it, so. A spring update, as we all expect, 100% gonna happen. I don't know if in this Direct, but it seems likely, instead of just dropping it on Twitter or something. The Legend of Zelda, Pokemon, Metroid, Kirby, and Donkey Kong items for their anniversaries. 85% chance. I mean, they did it with Mario. I know Zelda will probably 100% happen. I don't know about the rest of them, so we'll have to see. And finally, possibly a new line of amiibo or reprints of amiibo for this game, because I'm expecting Orville and Wilbur, the Dodo Birds, to be announced. 30% chance, because they didn't sell that well, the Animal Crossing amiibo, so. Okay, next we have Bayonetta. Okay, the next game was announced in 2017, and we're still waiting, Nintendo. So Bayonetta 3 is probably going to get officially announced and slated for a September or October release. I'm 90% sure. And even though Nintendo said they're only announcing things for the first half of 2020, they probably need something to get us hyped for later on, and I think Bayonetta is probably the most likely thing. Because we've been waiting for years, or 4 years actually. It seems like they're doing pretty well with development, so we'll see. Next we have Fire Emblem. This franchise was recently revived with 3DS's Fire Emblem Awakening, and I believe Nintendo is going to announce some big game for this year, since Free Houses was 2 years ago. A Fire Emblem remake of some sorts announced with a July or August release would make sense, since it was leaked earlier this year, and I'm 100% sure. I just don't know which game, because I'm not that big into Fire Emblem. Another classic Fire Emblem gets localized like the original was, 50% chance. I'm not 100% sure it'll happen, but because like limited releases and stuff, but Nintendo could do it. We'll see. And the most unlikely, but a Fire Emblem Free Houses DLC, probably of a new house. I'd say 0% chance because I feel like they're done with that game. But anything's possible. I mean, it's Nintendo, so they did update ARMS, so I think they did, yeah. Okay, Wario. We haven't gotten any Wario games on the Switch yet, so it feels like time for Nintendo to start using their less popular franchises, such as this. A Switch WarioWare would make sense since we haven't had a new one since the Wii, because WarioWare Gold was like a remake sorta, or a compilation. I'll give it 100% likely this year, and for this direct. A Wario Land Shake It port from the Wii, since it was leaked, I'd give it a 55% chance, because I don't think they want to make a new Wario Land just yet. And as I just said, a new Wario Land, only a 25% chance, because I don't think they're focused on that right now. Okay, this is the big one. Other games / third-party games. Monster Hunter Rise information of some sort will probably be announced, such as Nintendo costumes for the game. I'm 100% that's gonna happen, because Monster Hunter Rise is about to release. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville, Ace Attorney Collection, and Tales from the Borderlands were all leaked, so it's 100% likely. And that's why I said Claptrap would probably come in a Smash as a Mii fighter, because we already have 4 Borderlands games on the Switch now, so. Okay, a big third-party game is supposedly being ported. I think it was leaked out. And my best guess is probably Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, since they're not too technologically demanding. But there is the slight possibility of Final Fantasy VII Remake, considering Sephiroth just got in a Smash. I'd give that a 20% chance. And free collections, I personally hope we could get, we're not going to get any of these probably, are Batman Arkham, Grand Theft Auto, or Tomb Raider. Just a random guess, so I'll give it a 5% chance, because I really want to play Tomb Raider on the Switch. And then possibly something Sonic related, such as a big 3D Sonic game, or Sonic Mania 2. 60% chance, because we know Sega's working on a new Sonic game, but we just don't know if they want to release it, or if they want to announce it with Nintendo. So we'll see. Xenoblade Chronicle X gets a Wii U port announcement in possible March or April release. 90% chance. Because as a port, I think they could announce it and release it really soon, like they did with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Wouldn't be too far-fetched. And finally, a new Captain Toad game. Since it was leaked earlier this year, I'll give it a 75% chance, because we haven't seen Captain Toad in quite a while. And that's all. So remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below anything that you think is going to happen in this direct. And who knows, maybe come back and check and see if my predictions were right after today. Can't wait.